Let's talk about the post office, should we? What is going to happen next? So many of us have seen that drama series on ITV. What impact did it have on you? Damien Owen, obviously a big impact on him because he was a post office, sub-post office master, I should say. You went to jail.
I did.
Tell me what happened.
Basically, they updated the computer system. Someone came out, checked everything, it was all fine. Came back the next day, change over. Absolutely fine. A couple of weeks later, I get an audit. So when they do the audit, they say we're some £25,000 short.
£25,000?
Yeah, which was more money than we carried in the branch anyway, so... Because it's only a small branch. So it kind of went downhill from there. Police investigated. They said there's no case to answer. So I thought, brilliant, done. But no, their powers of prosecution are kind of...
That's the post office powers of prosecution,
Post office powers of prosecution.
Because they represent the Crown, don't they?
They do.
It doesn't have to be the police that prosecute you.
No, not at all.
That's my understanding.
Yeah, so I ended up in court.
You must have thought, this is a bad dream, this is going to be fine. It's all going to be fine in the long run.
You kind of believe in the justice system, don't you?
Yeah.
You just think it's there for a reason, and but no, they give their own evidence, they supply their own evidence, they prosecute themselves. Well, not prosecute themselves, prosecute on their own behalf. So you're just kind of trapped in the circuit until the final outcome isn't on your side. So...
You went to jail?
I did.
For 8 months? Or you sentenced to 8 months?
Sentenced to 8 months. I did about half of that, and then the rest I had a fetching ankle bracelet to wear for months on, like, a tag. That
wasn't all, though. I'm guessing if you're prosecuted for theft, it's very difficult to get a job.
Yeah, yeah. See, job prospects, even from then to now, they're not great, are they? You know, you've got a theft conviction hanging over you. Who wants to employ you then? And even then, what level of job are you going to get? You go from having well, it's more than a decent job being a postmaster. It was good, enjoyed it, the money was good. But then you go back then to the bottom rung of any employment for the rest of your life then, and it's...
What sort of jobs were you doing?
I did a call centre job. I did helping out teaching kids with special needs. Just nothing...
And every morning when you wake up and you must have looked at yourself in the mirror and thought, this is not fair, this is just not... I mean, if you had done it, then even so, it's difficult to rebuild your life. But if you knew that you were innocent and having to deal with the ramifications of that...
Well, I think it's easier to deal with it if you are responsible and, you know, fair play. You know, you've done it, do the time, take the consequences. But if you haven't, it's unfair, isn't it?
How did Alan Bates help you?
I myself didn't speak so an awful lot to Alan Bates. And maybe I've 1 or 2 conversations with him, but I had very little.
What impact did what happened have on the family? I believe that you didn't speak to your brother.
I still don't, and I still won't, no. That's probably a touchy subject, sorry, Mum. No. And
your daughter, Imogen, it must have been... She's now 11. Must have been challenging for her growing up as well, and what people say, you know, people whisper behind their hands, don't they, and make it very difficult.
Probably not as much as you think, because we moved. We moved from North Wales to the Midlands. So she only found out about it when my conviction was quashed.
That was last April?
Yeah, yeah.
So how did that come about?
I was
a lot of heartache. A lot of heartache in the meantime before it was finally quashed.
Yeah, a lot of... I never really thought it would get to this point where I'd get my conviction quashed and, you know, be sat here on Breakfast News talking about it. But it all happened quite... Well, not quickly, but there was a long period where nothing. And then I do say I think a lot of it has come to light through the work of Nick Wallace. He's an investigative journalist. And he did an awful lot of the work, which kind of pushed it into the limelight a bit. And then Hudgell solicitors have taken the case and they've run with it a lot, and they've done a lot of work for me, which I appreciate. You know, Neil Hudgell, great fella. I've a lot of respect for him. He's helped out a lot.
And have you been compensated now?
I'm coming in the process. You know, it's all... I don't know how long things take, but it's...
You've waited long enough. What sort of work are you doing now?
I'm out of work at the minute. I'm waiting for a knee replacement.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, 40 years old, waiting for a new knee, but it's not the worst thing that's happened to me.
No, no. How did you get through day by day?
Day by day?
In the midst of all of that? I
think you've just got to take it day by day. I think it hit me hard for a few years, mental health-wise. And then, I don't know, I just started to pick myself up. I think I'm a lot better now than I was, but I don't know, you just got to take it day by day.
Yeah, and what about those that prosecuted you when, in your opinion, I'm sure, they knew what they were doing and yet they carried on otherwise? Would you like to see them in the same position that you found yourself in?
I'd like to see them worse than I have been, you know? So when I'm at my lowest point, I want to see them face perjury charges, for example. You know, they've given evidence under oath. Why are they allowed to get away with that? So I want to see perjury charges. I want to see all kinds of, well, fraud charges. Paula Venables, why is she, you know, the worst she's had so far is people request she give back her honour. Well, why not the fraud charges against her? Why not conspiracy charges against her? Because that's what it is at the end of the day. It's a huge conspiracy and a huge cover-up. So why isn't she getting any of the flack? Why isn't she getting a legal investigation into her, well, illegal actions?
Well, certainly that looks as though potentially it might be the case. We've heard from the Met and they say that they are investigating potential fraud offences. We can't say that, obviously. We have to put potential and alleged in there just to be on the safe side. The sign behind you, just before I let you go, it says post office, and everybody, you know, in this country would have thought, oh, post office, I can trust the post office, I can get my, I can put my savings in there, it's always protected, and, you know, I'll get my stamps and I'll go and have a chat, and it's a safe place to be. Yeah. Not for you.
It's not, I don't go there unless I really have to. What I would like to see, I think, looking at that there now, I think it's a brand that you can't trust, you know, but it's outdated. You get your pensions paid into your account. You can make parcel post from other places now. DVLA, they do all their stuff online. Why bother? I think if we all stopped going there, we could kill this within the year. You know, just... I don't see why a company as fraudulent and deceptive, which they still are, they're not fully engaging with the inquiry going on, why should we, as a country, still support this, you know?
Make a good point. Good luck. Let us keep in touch.
Yeah.
And let us know how you get on with your compensation.
Lovely. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Thank you.